Hey y'all, welcome to Off the Beaten Path. My name is Kush.
My name is Breezy. On our podcast, we explore the great outdoors and the Second Amendment with a blend of culture,
comedy, and conversation. And oh yeah,
I'm making beats.
Ladies and gentlemen, we want to welcome you back to Off the Beaten Path, the SHOT Show edition. We're here at the amazing Otis booth. Shout out to Otis for opening up their booth to us to be able to podcast. Today we have an amazing guest. Her name is, well, here, I'm gonna just let Becky, we've had everybody introduce themselves because every guest we've had on so far has been completely, trailblazing.
Yes, but also Maggie said she loved the way we hyped it up on our introductions, but we've been passing it off this time, so that's good.
Passing it off.
Yeah, we're passing it off.
Get the hype
we're
up.
passing the torch. Yeah.
I don't get hyped up.
Yeah, you do. Well, you hype your,
I have to hype myself up.
You don't even need the hype, though. You're you. You know what I mean?
I am Becky Yackley.
Like, there it is. Hype. That's it. We need, like, applause and some sound effects.
I'll do a horn. I got the horn. Yeah, we do have sound effects here. We just opted for no headphones because it keeps, some people get nervous when they put the headphones on and then they hear themselves.
Yeah, it does. I think it lends your conversational style might change a little bit.
100%. And we're very informal. We keep everything relaxed. So,
what are my list of bad words that I can't say?
You say whatever you want. Okay.
I'm like thinking about it.
Yeah. If it's something that's going to social, we'll censor it. But
I'm just joking.
Yeah.
I'm a mom. I try to use good words.
Yeah, that's good.
So I guess let's just jump right into it.
Let's go.
Okay.
Mrs. Becky Yackley. Introduce yourself to everyone who's listening.
All right. So my name's Becky Yackley. I am a professional shooter, but I also write and blog and do a lot of photo work and content creation. I might manage social media for some people, and I do a lot of different things, wear a lot of different hats. My whole family competes. So we have Tim, my eldest, Sean, the middle son, Andrew, the youngest, and my husband, Mark. And we've all been competing, Mark and I, since like 1989. And then Tim and Sean and Andrew the last decade.
89?
89.
So you were like 3.
Thank you. So I started shooting service rifle. Shot an M14 for 4 years for the state. Yeah. Like 308 iron sights, the whole NRA service rifle.
Yep.
So that's how I started shooting. And then I shot small bore and air rifle in college. And that's how Mark and I met at Marquette University in Milwaukee. And then
that's what was like. Nice rifle.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah, so we shot air rifle and small bore.
Wow.
And then, so that was like NCAA and then 3-position air rifle. And then we had a friend, Mike Douglas, was on the U.S. team for free pistol and air pistol for the Sydney Olympics. Yeah. And there was another gal, Mary Beth Larson, who was on the U.S. team for pentathlon. So she probably knew Tess, who you'd have on.
Shout out Tess.
Yeah.
And so Mary Beth and Mike got Mark and I to shoot air pistol and free pistol that year because they wanted a team. And it was like one of the most fun things because we went to the West Point for the collegiate nationals. And like we walk in and you're like, there's Mark and Mike and these two girls. And I think we took second or third. We did pretty well. And there's like MIT and the Naval Academy and the Army, like all impressive. All the military teams. So it was kind of fun.
That's cool. So
it's like, you're like, of course our children are going to, did they automatically, like as far as getting into shooting, were they like coaxed in like,
No. So,
or they're like, it was in their DNA.
When Tim was 4, Mark was at the State Patrol Academy that summer, and his birthday's in the middle of summer. We bought him a little Red Ryder BB gun, and chopped the stock off. So like we found it a few years ago. And I took a picture of him and I with it because he's like, now he's, 6 foot tall, but the stock was like this long and there's a chunk that we cut off that was even longer. And we're like, holy,
that's awesome. Cute. The little sawed off red. He's in the backyard going
literally
crazy.
You shoot an eye out.
Yes. No, he had like chemistry goggles because he's 4. What are you going to, So I just like, you can shoot all the soda cans you want. And I would sit there and let him shoot soda cans.
Yeah, I love that.
Sight alignment and trigger control and the rules of firearm safety, right? Like,
that's what I did with my my son and his BB gun.
Yeah.
Except he wasn't 4, he was like 14 at the time. So you said something. I learned this last year when we stopped by the High-Vis booth. Shout out to Tess. She's amazing. She's the one who introduced us. She said to us, "You guys know Becky Yackley?" We're like, "No." And she's like, "You guys need to know her." We're like, "Why?" She's like, "Why not? She's all around amazing." Yeah. And then she said her whole family shoots.
Yeah.
So what was the because to me that's impressive. I have children. My son is the only one. Well, my son and my youngest daughter love shooting. My wife is from Texas, so she loves shooting, but she's not like, "Oh, let me go grab a gun and go train." What was how was it getting the children involved? Was it something that was just a natural order of progression?
Very natural. I mean, so when they were younger, like BB guns, airsoft, they loved airsoft.
Wow.
I've got a story about airsoft I'll say for remind me there's an airsoft story.
Okay. Airsoft story.
But and paintball and all of it. They love it all. But when they were younger, we were living at Quantico, or we're near Quantico, and Mark was in the Pentagon with the Marine Corps. The kids were doing wrestling with the Marines at Quantico. They did swim team, and swim team in Virginia is really big.
Wow.
Like there's year-round swimming and summer, but we just did the summer, and we'd go to these swim events. We'd get up at 4:30, 5 in the morning. We'd be out there, and then they'd say, "Oh, well, the parents need to work concessions or clerk a course, or you need to help with this and timers." And I always felt like I want to see my children. I'm here with my family, but I'm not with them. And they're running around. And then there's points where you're like, I haven't seen the youngest in an hour. Where is he? And he's, of course, eating candy, sitting under the little tent. But we just, after enough years of that, we felt like, why don't we do something we can all do together? So we just started back to competitions.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So we had a 20 gauge with the buttstock sawed off in this really thick recoil pad. And the first 3-gun match we ever shot was down in Virginia, outside of Fredericksburg. So like a local match. And
no way.
That was the first 3-gun. And then, just as we got into it again, like back in competitions more, they would come with us. The youngest was 9 at that time. So he would come to like a local league night, and maybe he'd shoot a stage and then go sleep on the couch.
That's so, that is dope.
Is there, so how competitive
what are
does
the
it
rankings
get
between
y'all?
Okay. Well, so Tim, our oldest, the one who got the BB gun when he was 4, he's sincerely the most accomplished. He's a grandmaster pistol shooter in USPSA.
No
He's
way.
been on IPSC rifle, pistol, and shotgun teams for the U.S. on the official teams. The first 2 rifle world shoots, he was the top ranking U.S. shooter out of everybody that went for the U.S. So he's very accomplished in that regard, but he's doing a bit of instructing now, some cool stuff.
Wow.
And
I think, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to. Didn't we?
Yeah,
you
we
had
met him.
he was the one.
NRA.
He
He's
was
like 6 foot, 2
Yeah.
or 3 years.
He's like, I don't know. The youngest is taller now. The baby, the baby's the tallest, but yeah.
Wow.
But so Tim is really, truly the most accomplished out of everybody shooting. And he also just has, people will watch him shoot and say, I don't know how he did it that fast, but he's very clean. And one of the best descriptions in how he gets there, we were walking stages for one of the big 3-gun matches, in the heyday, Andy Horner's Blue Ridge Mountain 3-gun. And you do all this stuff with pistol in a barn, and then you dump your gun, and you pick up your shotgun, and there were, there's slugs, there's birdshot. Then you're going to go to your rifle.
Right.
And my middle son, Sean, and I are walking the stage, and we're like, okay, so there's that slug, that slug, that slug. And Tim walks up. He's like, no, your feet need to be right here. And it was clocking it a few degrees so you could get the best position on these slugs. And then as you leave the position, your body is already situated. So you're going to, he's thinking about it on a very thin slicing that down to a microscopic level.
That's incredibly analytical.
Yeah.
That's because I'm sure, is it time based? The
Correct. So I mean, all action shooting has a time component. Whether it's, some people call it time plus, that's one style. Then there's hit factor, where it's points divided by time. So that's IPSC, USPSA. And sometimes you'll have a mix, Blue Ridge used to be, it's your time, but for every Charlie or Delta, you're going to be down a half second or down a full second. So we always gravitated toward the events that kept you more accurate, that were more accuracy focused. We did Bianchi Cup for 8 years.
Wow.
And the boys held the junior national title in Bianchi Cup for 8 years running.
Yep.
So each one of them.
That is impressive.
And, like, that's all part-time. So honestly, for the kids.
That's all part-time, you said?
Part-time.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So it's one of the best sports for kids, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know, you see the kids. I actually wrote an article recently, and it was about the safety in the shooting sports. And you break down football, soccer, volleyball, the injuries that kids. I mean, sometimes they're
Yes.
legit.
Yeah. It's a fact.
Shooting safe, you know.
The head traumas, like from
No question.
boxing,
CTE. I mean, you can see the implementation of like the safety that they're trying to bring to a lot of those sports
Yes,
because of the injuries that people have had.
Right.
You said, so is this a full-time gig for y'all?
Yeah.
Like all of you?
Yeah. Well, my husband is. He just retired from 28 years in the Marine Corps.
Wow.
He was gone 2 years down at Marfo Res.
Okay.
He was like the talent management officer. And then he had, I think, like maybe a couple different hats and then a few things they're tackling. But so he was busy with that. Now he's just back to his squad car in the state patrol.
Nice.
So he's a state trooper in Wisconsin.
Okay.
And then our youngest is a mechanic and he also has applied for the state patrol. So
wow.
we're supportive, but mom is also worried.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sure.
I mean,
Of course.
Yeah. No
real
question.
world. What is it? What is the word I'm looking for? Why am I drawing a blank? Real world scenarios.
Yeah. Well, and that's, you know, honestly, just the social climate right now, and there's some different attitudes toward law enforcement.
Oh yeah. 100%.
But and then Sean is going to school for machining and CNC, and he is also a blacksmith, so he does a lot of custom pieces. So that's pretty cool. Like this morning, we got to go catch up with Cerakote because we've been out there to do the training for Cerakoting. And I did my rifle and shotgun, but I did my rifle with them for World Shoot. And Sean has like I think it's a sword project, but he was, you know, chatting with them, and he's like super artistic with guns.
That is imagine, hey mom, yeah honey, got a new gun I want you to look at. It's a piece of art and something amazing.
Yeah.
So
I hand forged this.
Yes, literally. I'll have to share a photo with you when we're done. He made my husband a knife for his retirement that he forged, but he used an old shirt from PT from 1999 when he was at. Yeah, so the Marine Corps Intel School, you go to Fort Huachuca after you do like TBS and IOC and all that. So he was at Fort Huachuca, and so we had this old red because we wanted red and gold with the Marine Corps.
Yep. Of course.
He's like, well, maybe we can find an old shirt. So we found this old Fort Huachuca PT shirt, and he layered it in resin, so it makes like micarta to make the handle out. And he turned the brass fittings. He cast brass fittings out of like old cartridge cases. Yeah.
How did he get involved with that?
So my dad, he gunsmithed for Krieger barrels, rifle barrels, for about 35 years. They're family friends. And then my dad got into blacksmithing, you know, over the years. It's just something he was always interested in. And so he did some projects with the kids when they were younger. And Sean just really embraced it. Like he had this little, we called it his shack.
Of course.
And it was like pallets against a fence, and he had tarps over the top. And my husband eventually was like, he's really into this. He had a forge that was from one of my dad's best friends, the best man in his wedding.
Wow.
It was his father's forge, just a little hand crank charcoal forge. And so that's where Sean started, in this little like lean-to tarp.
I'm a grown man, and when I watched Forged in Fire, I'm like,
I knew you were going to reference that.
I need my own.
I've always been fascinated by it, for sure. My grandfather was really good at wood.
My workspace is a recording studio and vinyl records.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
I'm like, man, I should really be out there making knives.
We have to evolve our man cave space, right?
Every man cave needs like a weapon formation station.
For sure.
I mean, I do have my safe, but I mean, like, that's not like. I mean, I did cut my finger almost completely off the other night. I was chopping like onions or something, and I was like, "Geez, there goes my finger."
Maybe not knives. Maybe you're the gunsmith.
Yeah, Go gunsmith. Yeah.
So we've got we've got Tim, or Sean is the knife blacksmith, Andrew's the mechanic, and he like
all in house. Look at that.
Yeah, like we have a 1978 or 75 backhoe. It's pretty old, but took and rebuilt the engine or transmission in it. I should know, but he's constantly doing car stuff.
Tinkering and doing something.
And then Tim is everyone does car stuff. Like between Thanksgiving and now, they've done a transmission or two. I think we had the alternators, solenoids, suspension parts. Like everyone's pretty capable.
That's
and then,
awesome.
Tim is the gunsmith. Tim's the one where you're like, hey, I want this, just like so. And you hand it to Tim.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Now, how often let's say like Tim, for instance, he's in house for you, but will you say, son, can you actually customize this for me?
Oh, yeah. I mean, whenever we're building up a rifle, like last year, again, you talk with Tess. We went to Mini Rifle World Shoot. I built my rifle, but I did I'm like, hey, getting input from him where he'll keep me from making bad mistakes or something.
Of course. Because, the math behind that, because we're talking pinpoint accuracy, really with any firearm, but.
And building the AR platform, that's one of the beauties of it, is that anybody can really build an AR. It's just like the little idiosyncrasies of like, if you do this way, it's easier. Or, I mean, something as simple as I'm trying to get the barrel into the upper receiver. If I heat the upper receiver, it expands slightly, right? And then, or if I heat the barrel to get, like just little things like that that make a difference.
But that's cool to have that understanding and be able to tinker with that stuff and play around with it until you get
Where are you guys from?
We're in Wisconsin.
Wow.
So,
we were
just up there. We had an amazing time.
We went to Eau Claire.
We went to Aglow.
Aglow.
Are you familiar with that?
Eau Claire, the town.
I know Eau Claire.
Yeah, we were there for Aglow. Associated
Great Lakes Outdoor Writers. It's their annual.
Yeah.
It was cool. We had a great time.
It was our first pheasant hunt.
Yeah, very fun.
And then we
cheese curds galore.
Pheasants are so fun.
It was amazing. Spotted cow.
We had spotted cow for breakfast.
Yeah, we're like, we didn't realize that was a cult thing up there. It's no joke.
It's my husband's got a Marine Corps friend who came up once, and he's like, Wisconsin people, like, you guys drink. Like, they do drink a lot.
Yeah.
We're not so much there, but we do. Yeah, spotted cow. It's good. It's very sad because they're a little on the other side of politics from where maybe all of us are. But it's a good beer.
It was pretty damn good.
So,
and then the wild rice soup.
Ones.
Oh
yeah.
Jeez.
Like a chicken wild rice.
Yeah.
So,
I had never had that.
Yeah, we hadn't either. And I was thinking about, you asked about the pheasant, like, in true best bud fashion, we had never been pheasant hunting before. It was actually cool.
Yeah.
But for people that maybe don't know, we're all in a line, right? Walking through
shoulder
this field,
shoulder,
the dog's out front.
Right.
Everyone's communicating, talking to each other. All right, if it's over here, you shoot. If it's and we're next to each other.
Kind of like quadrants.
Yeah, quadrants.
Right.
And the dog, bird takes off. I look over at my best bud.
Yeah.
And I see him. Boom! And I see some feathers fly, but the pheasant's still going.
He's still going.
And I go, it's my turn. Boom! And I took him down. We were like, let's go! So everyone was like,
only to not be able to locate the
I know, we
freaking
couldn't
bird.
find the bird.
You didn't find it?
No,
You
because
ended up finding it?
No, the dog was exhausted. He had already gone through, I
so
think,
they
4 passes through the field.
Yeah.
And the handler
Because he
was
brought 4 dogs. He's like, I got to go get a new dog. And
then by that time, the scent was long gone.
Yeah.
And they will, pheasants will hunker down and just freeze. They will,
we didn't know that.
freeze.
That's cool.
Yeah.
And we were told, obviously, afterwards, most people love this type of hunting because you're able to talk, communicate, have fun. And then when you see the bird, it's like,
go,
get
go,
it.
go, go.
Or deer hunting or any big game, you just kind of like,
yeah.
So I'll give you a deer hunting story.
Now here we go. Let's go.
Kind of an embarrassing one. My dad had a really good friend Gino Gompf. He was from Colombia. His family was in Bogota. And
nice.
He would go hunt with us, and my dad's one of my dad's other best friends. And we did a drive one afternoon. And they were like, all right, you're going to sit here. You're going to sit there. Becky, you're going to sit with Gino. And so I'm like, okay, whatever. I was 12 maybe. And we're under this giant pine tree, and they all go out to the end of the field and walk down through it. And they come back. They're like, well, did you see anything? We thought we kicked a few up. And Gino goes, no, not with broadcast sitting here. Because he said I talk too much.
Yeah.
So then I never would talk deer hunting.
Yeah.
That is, depending on how young we are, that's adorable.
We're loud already. I get it. I understand I'm loud.
Yeah.
I forget how loud I am. And I say this because we were documenting a deer hunt up in North Carolina. And I don't realize how even it's like it's an echo chamber. Even when I'm trying to be quiet, but she kept looking at me like, I know I'm trying to be quiet. It feels like everything you do is
amplified.
I'm like
really
hitting a
loud.
cymbal.
Your zipper's
I'm like doing a and I'm like, I can't move, and I like got camera
Were you
gear,
in the
so
blinds,
I
or
can
were you-
appreciate. Yeah, we were in the blind. Yeah,
Okay.
and I'm trying.
It was a redneck blind, right?
Yeah, it was actually nice because my only reference of a deer stand was like with my pops 38 years ago in a hunting lease
tree
we had in
stand.
Florida.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And we're up there, and he's like, "Stop moving, stop!" And I'm like, "Okay, Dad."
Pulls your
But
ear.
I walked up in there, I was like, "Yo, what is this?"
Yeah.
I had like green light in there. We were kind of chilling, but the movement, it just seemed like everything
makes
was,
noise.
yeah.
So our second season, this is our third season. Our second season was featuring all amazing ladies.
Okay.
Obviously, you're an amazing individual, amazing woman, and you've raised an amazing family with your husband. I wanted to ask you, because we got a lot of new listeners. The goal with this podcast is to bring in new people into the space. What tips would you have specifically for women, young ladies, or grown women who want to get into the shooting world or any shooting discipline? What is some advice you'd give them?
I would say, like, my best piece of advice would be to find somebody that you know and trust that's knowledgeable and just go to the range with them. If someone's inviting you, they're inviting you because they want you to have a good experience and understand firearms. But doing it safely, it's really best to go with someone. And
100%.
if you don't have somebody, then seek out a class, seek out some opportunities. You can go rent like where you guys are. It's more suburb. I would say because you're in what part of Florida?
South Florida.
South Florida,
Yeah,
yeah.
West Palm
like,
Beach.
I mean, if you don't have you can't call up Becky and say, I'm going to come over to your house and we're going to go out in the range in your backyard.
Yeah.
That's not the case that everyone has that. If you're going to a public range, don't just rent a gun, go with someone, take somebody who knows what they're doing. Because
how would you vet like a trainer or someone?
excuse me, I would probably look at reviews, look at what
Good
kind of
old
classes,
Google.
good old Google. But what kind of classes do they have? Has someone recommended them? What kind of content are they putting out? Are they putting out good information? I think we all probably see a lot of trainers.
Yeah, exactly.
And
air quotes for
That
just
was
the
good.
listeners.
Yeah,
for
just
the
the
listeners,
listeners,
the
yeah.
air quotes trainer.
Yeah.
And I think the difficulty with that is you get a lot of tactical kind of stuff that might not be it might not
Your speed,
well,
for sure.
not just your speed, but it might not be technique, but not
Accurate
right fit,
information.
I
I
guess.
want to say principles based is what I mean.
Okay, gotcha.
So
Like the
our-
principles of shooting, you mean?
Right. So our oldest
Gotcha.
son, Tim, he taught out at Tactical Performance Center in St. George, Utah for a while with Ron Avery when he was still alive and he was
Okay.
out there. But Brian, you've probably heard of Brian Nelson, know who he is.
Yep.
Yeah. So he was with Brian working with
Nice.
him. And their whole philosophy is very principles based. There's certain things. It's not like, hey, bro, this is how I hold the gun and this is my technique and here's what I do and say, or it's more,
You have to do
Sure.
it.
here's what's happening in the platform you're shooting, whether it's a rifle or a pistol. Here's the principles of they call it the fire control triangle, grip, stance, and trigger control.
Yep.
Those are the things you need to learn. And how you apply the principles to manage those things is what's going to help you be more successful.
So what advice would you give? I have a friend. He puts his big old head on his shoulder. He goes like,
I would say, first of all, I'd start with looking at how he's gripping the gun, what's making him put his head on his shoulder. And then I would say, just forget about turning your head or anything. Just put the sights on the target and, hold it on the target and now come back down and naturally, what feels natural? Does it feel natural to do that?
I'm
For
the
him,
friend
it does.
with the big head.
he's a friend with
Oh,
the
it's
big
you.
head.
Yeah, I don't know what it is. Maybe it's my eye, I feel
Which
like
is your
I have
dominant
to,
eye?
maybe it's my, I don't
Maybe
know.
it is your what?
Okay,
I
do you know
think
how to
that's what
test-
it
we're
is,
gonna
right?
test
'Cause
it.
I'm-
We're gonna test it.
Oh yeah, let's test
You
it.
make a triangle like this.
Okay.
Okay, hold that in front of you. I can cover the shooter's choice thing, but you should
Okay.
find I don't know, the O and the Otis there.
Okay.
Can you
On the
see it?
door,
Can
you're
you
saying
see
right
it?
here, behind
Right here on the
us.
stick.
Yep,
Can you see
yep.
the O and the Otis?
Yep.
And cover it. Now look at it with both eyes. Put it in the middle.
Yep.
And then close one eye, close the other. See where is it
Oh, wow. That was...
Which one does it jump for?
I just got dizzy.
It jumps from my left eye.
It jumps for my right eye.
So you might be left eye dominant there, huh?
That makes sense. That's why I'm...
You're going like that. So,
Yo.
but just pick,
That was the simplest way anyone's ever shown us that.
Maybe I did. I felt like, shout out our boy Gun Daddy who gripped my head like a baby basketball when I was doing that.
But he didn't explain it that simple.
Yeah, I think I was.
Yeah.
When she said, which one does it jump for? I was like, oh, that makes sense.
simpler is better. Yeah. So like investigate that carefully and look. Right. But if you're shooting pistol and your left eye is your dominant eye, all you're going to do, I shoot pistol with my left eye because I have damage to my retina in my right eye. So I'm right-handed. I shoot rifle and shotgun with my right eye, but I shoot pistol. I use my left eye. And if I'm doing certain things, I'll use my right eye. It's just like I have better ability with my left. So you just bring the gun up and it's your left eye you're using. You're not going like this.
Yeah, because
bring it up to your left eye. Instead of here, it's like I'm just bringing it up a little bit differently.
I have to work on that.
Yeah.
You know what's amazing? She did that, and I can see her like her brain clicked.
Yeah.
Like it was like, oh, this is very natural.
Well, think about it, bro. Even though we understood some of the, my dad taught me some of those principles as a very young kid. I didn't. I retained some of it. I knew how to handle a firearm, but at the range, I wasn't like, okay, what's my dominant eye? And, I just...
And that's the reason why, like you're saying, if someone's brand new and wants to go, find someone who's knowledgeable, because little things like that, like you don't want to get 5 years into shooting or 2 trips to the range and be frustrated. You want to just have it as easy as possible. And some of that's just really understanding, like, first thing, figure out what's your dominant eye for pistol, especially. It matters.
Because it's easy to just...
we got to train more, man.
We do.
We travel a lot, but we got to train more.
And think about it. I've been shooting for, at that point, my whole life, 47 years. And this guy that we were training with was the first one that
he
stopped
grabbed
me.
His head. Yeah,
he literally palmed my head
and was like,
and he's like, "What are you doing?"
So
because I didn't even realize I was doing it, and I'm like, "What are you doing?"
Have you heard people say like there's 2 phrases. One, like, like the tactical turtle, like don't do that.
Yeah.
But so what will they tell you? What's the phrase they use to fix that? What do they tell you to do?
Relax your shoulders.
Bingo. Yeah. And what happens when you relax your shoulders? You're kind of limp and loose, right?
Limp and loose.
Okay. That's not necessarily what you want for shooting a pistol because you're trying to control the recoil.
Yes.
So think about it like this. Put your arms out like you're going to shoot your pistol. Okay.
I don't want to flag
you.
That's a
terrible. Look at this grip, folks. This grip is horrific.
So don't let me push this up.
Okay.
See the tension in your shoulders right there?
Yep.
And in your lap?
Yep.
You will have some tensions in your body. There's functional tension. Like if you're doing another sport like skiing,
you're not going to be like at the range.
You're not like a limp noodle, right? So when everyone says relax your shoulders, then people think like, oh, I've got to relax. Like you're not relaxing it. You're setting a tension, but it's not turtled up here. It's down here.
That makes so much sense.
And then if you're shooting strong hand or weak hand, like if you go to a USPSA match and they're like, with your strong hand only, you're not just limply holding it.
Wait. Hold on. We just rolled right over that. You will be required to shoot with your weak hand?
There are certain stages, like especially they'll have every so often a classifier, where it's strong hand, weak hand for USPSA for pistol.
Yeah.
And IPSC will do the same thing.
What? Every sport should do that. Think about that. Imagine like in golf, if you had to shoot like.
There are some things where they can't require. There's something in the rules about this. Like they can't require that you do it, but they could set the stage up so you're going to go around we had this in Thailand for shotgun where everyone's going to go around a wall on the left side of this big wall barricade, and there's a target right over there, and you have to shoot it. There's no way you're getting your gun in this shoulder around a wall. You're going to hit the wall, and that is a penalty. So you're going to switch shoulders and switch eyes and all that. They can force it. They can't tell you have to, but
that's
they could.
Cool, though.
Stage design could force what you're going to need to do.
Look at that. Time flies when you're having fun.
I just looked at that.
I just looked at it. So, okay, because we only have a few minutes left.
We need her back on at some point.
One, you're incredibly dope.
Yeah.
You just blew my mind in like several different ways. But I wanted to ask you, what's in store for 2026 for the Yackleys?
Okay, in store for 2026. So we have, I get to go to Greece for Shotgun World Shoot.
Nice.
So out of the ladies that qualified for standard, I beat them all every time.
Come on, we need a...
So you told me I had to hype myself up. There's my hype. And so I'm really excited about Grease and Shotgun, and that's like the big thing for the year. I'm also going to go shoot a rifle match in Poland. My boys have shot that one with me before.
Awesome.
Next year we have Rifle World Shoot in Mongolia, and we have qualifiers this year. So
Wow.
I'm going to do a lot of rifle shooting. And then just like my typical like writing and blogging, and yeah, we've
That's
got
cool.
How to?
Tim's instructing. Sean
She's
and
like,
Andrew.
I'm gonna
Everyone's-
ask you in
everyone's got
Mongolia.
stuff
I'm
I'm
going.
gonna ask you a
That was cool.
question. How do you like Mongolian food?
She's like, I'll let you
I
know
don't
next year.
All I can
Oh,
think of-
you've never been.
All I can think of is Veggie Tales Mongolian.
Wait, have you been there before?
Yes, that's great. Veggie Tale. Shout out to Christian cartoons. I love them.
Yes.
All right.
How do people like tap in
find
with
you?
y'all?
Yeah.
How do they find you?
I have a website. It's BeckyYackley.com. I need to update stuff. But
Yeah.
on Facebook and Instagram, I'm most active on Instagram, and it's just Becky Yackley.
Becky
and
Yackley.
then-
Spell out the, what is it?
BECKY
CKY.
YACKLEY.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. Cool.
Yeah. So yeah, follow us there, and
Sweet.
yeah.
Guys, we
This
want to
was
thank y'all.
amazing.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we want
thank
to
you.
thank y'all for tuning in, tapping in, staying connected with us. It's been an incredible 30 minutes with Becky Yackley. She's a professional at what she does. Incredibly experienced.
Yep.
Becky, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you guys
Thank
for
you to
having
Otis
me.
Shout
for
out to
having
Otis.
us.
Yeah,
Yep.
yep.
Yeah.
And stay tuned for the next episode.
Yes.